Alaska, the last frontier. Join us for a thrilling week of sea kayaking in the Inside Passage and hiking and exploring some of the surrounding rainforest.
We're also here to see Alaska's spectacular ice fields and glaciers, not to mention its abundant wildlife, from eagles to humpback whales.
I'm Alan Smith.
And I'm Yolanda Bunis.
Welcome to this edition of Cruising the World on board the Wilderness Adventurer
With Glacier Bay Tours and Cruises in Southeast Alaska.
Our voyage begins in Juneau, Alaska's capital, and a city, by the way, that can only be reached by sea or by air. Because of the rugged mountains and glaciers surrounding it, there are no roads leading to Juneau. As we move down the Gastineau Channel, all signs of civilization rapidly disappear.
Our first morning finds us in the magnificent Tracy Arm Fjord. On the aft deck, Robin, the lead naturalist, explains the finer points of using these Easy Rider two-person kayaks.
Since this was my first chance to go sea kayaking, I wanted to make sure I understood the basics.
I've got my spray skirt, I have my life jacket, and now I'm ready to go.
This floating dock off the back of the boat makes it easy to get in and out of the water without having to worry about tipping the kayak.
We're eager to get out and start exploring this magnificent country.
Kayaks offer the ideal way to explore this rugged coastline and get up close and personal with nature. In fact, Tracy Arm turns out to be the most dramatic fjord I have ever seen.
And is surrounded by granite cliffs and cascading waterfalls everywhere you look. Heading down the bay, we noticed a group of bald eagles having a free lunch on shore.
Further down the bay is our first iceberg of the voyage. These bergs are really beautiful, but we keep our distance because icebergs can flip over unexpectedly and the water seems to be a little cold for a swim.
After a couple hours of exploring, we head back to the ship and cruise further up into Tracy Arm to visit the South Sawyer Glacier. Along the way, we take the time to relax and enjoy the passing scenery.
After only a few miles, we notice a huge brown bear on the hillside ahead. The brown bear of coastal Alaska is actually the same animal as the grizzly bear of the interior.
The closer to the glacier we get, the more icebergs surround us. We are struck by their incredible beauty and the deep blue color of these small icebergs. The color is caused by the refraction of light off the highly compacted ice.
Near the face of the glacier, the ship is surrounded by small chunks of ice, referred to as bergy bits, which can drift with the current at speeds up to 4 miles per hour. In some cases, they can be hazardous to small boats traversing these waters.
Everyone on board is dazzled by this incredible face of ice, which extends miles back up into the mountains. It's hundreds of feet high and is just the tip of this river of ice.
These small bergs are a resting stop for the locals and are formed when chunks break off the face of a glacier, a process known as calving.
When these chunks hit the water, they cause waves to radiate out toward the boat, giving us a bit of a free ride.
As we head down the channel, we spot this beautiful waterfall and ask the captain if we could get as close as possible for a better look.
Any closer, and we would have had a cold shower.
Wow, we just saw 2 humpback whales. Hopefully they'll come out of the water again and we can get a good shot of them. Humpback whales migrate to southeastern Alaska every summer in search of food. Sightings in these waters are very common, and individual animals can be identified by the markings on the underside of their tails as they dive.
These huge animals are truly majestic creatures.
Off to our port side is some seals, a whole colony of them. Once they see us coming, they all seem to scurry into the water. One of the nicest features of the Wilderness Adventurer is this gangplank built into the bow of the boat. It gives us a chance to go ashore for a walk and explore this beach before dinner. We're in Fanshawe Bay. The captain has noticed a homestead here. It's probably been here for a good 50 or 60 years. We've decided to make a beach landing and check it out. We're really fortunate, wouldn't you say, Yo?
Oh, this is great. It looks like there's strawberries all over the place.
Everywhere. Well, come strawberries, comes bears, I always say.
Is that a bear I hear?
I hope not. Let's check this out and make it a quick one.
Okay. This leisurely walk along the beach gives us the chance to relax and appreciate the solitude and quiet beauty of this part of Alaska. After crossing Frederick Sound, we came to the shores of Baranof Island.
We continue to be amazed by how little impact civilization has had on this part of Alaska.
Cruising along the shore, we're joined by an escort of doll porpoises.
These playful animals seem to be leading us towards our next stop, Warm Springs Bay. This quaint little town is known for its spectacular waterfall, its hot springs, backcountry lakes, and stunning location.
There are no roads in town, just this one boardwalk that runs along the bay connecting the businesses and summer homes. After spending a couple of hours exploring the town, some of us decided to get in some more kayaking, exploring the picturesque waterfall and bay, and doing a little socializing. Since I knew Alan had gone ahead up the trail, I decided it was time to head for shore and do a little hiking myself. We're here at Baranoff Island. This trail is supposed to lead to some great hot springs. In the meantime, look at these great lilies. You know, I haven't seen any like this before. It turns out these lilies are actually skunk cabbage. What a terrible name for such a pretty flower. Eventually, I got to the hot springs and caught up with Alan and the rest of the group. It was definitely worth the hike. Well, we found those hot springs they were talking about, and it feels great. Don't you think so, Alan?
Yeah, it definitely feels great. Find a hot springs in this part of Alaska, I'd say the temperature is probably 98 to 102 degrees, and it sure feels good. Matter of fact, over our shoulder, feisty, over our shoulder is some other hot springs that have an excellent view of the whitewater behind us. What do you say we go try those? And they may be a little bit cooler.
Okay.
All righty. After a long, relaxing soak, it was time to head up the trail and check out those lakes we had heard so much about. The next morning finds us heading north, towards Icy Strait and the world-famous Glacier Bay National Park.
While enjoying the peace and quiet of the passage, suddenly the call went out. "Huge pod of killer whales ahead!" This is totally awesome.
It was simply astounding. While it's common to see pods of 4 to 6 killer whales in these waters, a group this size is extremely rare. Killer whales, also known as orcas, can grow up to 30 feet long and are easy to spot on the surface because of their unique dorsal fins.
The fins on the males are straighter than those of females and can be up to 6 feet high.
Their prey includes everything from salmon to whales, and while they are ruthless hunters, they have never been known to attack humans.
Having a chance to experience these killer whales firsthand like this is an undescribable experience. Even the crew was amazed by this incredible sighting. Then just as suddenly as they appeared, they went under the boat and disappeared.
And then they were bringing their flukes up like that?
Yeah, and their little white belly. They're rolling over.
Little?
As we continued on toward Glacier Bay, I noticed the mist drifting through the trees on the far hillside and had to grab a few photos for my album.
Guarding the entrance to Glacier Bay is a colony of stellar sea lions.
As clumsy as they appear on land, they are incredibly graceful in the water.
Approaching the heart of Glacier Bay, I am reminded that while it is over 3 million acres in size, it is extremely remote with almost no trails and no roads leading into it. The only way, and luckily the best and most beautiful way to visit this park, is by boat.
The Marjorie Glacier is a phenomenal act of nature. In fact, it continues over 14 miles up this canyon to its source and is over a mile wide.
That's a great caveat at Marjorie, didn't we? But at Grand Pacific Glacier, that glacier, for as immense as it is...
As we leave the misty shores of this great national park behind us, we head to our final stop on this spectacular cruise.
Excursion Inlet is the last stop, but in many ways, the most magical. Lori, our naturalist, takes us ashore and gives us a guided tour of this fantastic bay.
As we hike along, it's interesting to have Lori point out the various plants and animals we come across. The highlight is the black bear looking at us from across the stream.
This guy seems as curious about us as we are about him. While walking through the meadow, we came upon this old rotten log completely covered with lichens and mosses.
We just finished taking a hike here in Excursion Inlet. This is a phenomenal place that's hard to describe. While we were walking along, we saw a heron, we just spotted a black bear, and just as we were leaving, the sun came out and a beautiful rainbow was ahead of us.
Okay, as soon as you get them on, come on, folks.
This mountain range right here.
It's a pretty nice place to hike up that valley.
Yeah.
No moose though.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, there's
We
just
were
a lot of...
hoping.
Yeah.
This afternoon in Excursion Inlet is very magical. We almost hate to head back to the boat for our final afternoon and evening cruising the Inside Passage. During the course of this cruise, we had a fair amount of rain, but on this final afternoon, the sun is out and it is warm. About the nicest conditions you could ask for here in Southeast Alaska.
As we return to Juneau to end our voyage, we remember the experiences we shared, the new friends we made, and we wish it could last forever. We've really enjoyed our experiences in Alaska this week, and we're glad you could join us for this episode of Cruising the World.
I'm Alan Smith.
And I'm Yolanda Bunis.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.